Welcome to Roblox's Investor Day. I'm Anna Yen, Head of Investor Relations. Today, you'll hear from our founder and CEO, Dave Baszucki, as well as our CFO, Mike Guthrie, and a few other members of our senior management team. We're really excited to give you a look into our business and to provide you with an understanding of our vision and our strategy. First, one of the best parts of my job is to share our disclaimer language with you. So without further ado, now that you've read every word of that, it is my sincere pleasure to introduce you to our founder and CEO, Dave Baszucki. Dave?
Thank you, Anna. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us to watch Roblox's first ever Investor Day. It's so great to be with all of you today, even if we're together digitally. But these are extraordinary times. Everything's evolving. The way we work, the way we learn, even the way we experience together. We've been working and living more and more now in a digital domain, and the importance of what we're building at Roblox is massive. We're enabling human interaction in a 3D world that is critical and necessary for people around the world to be productive, to connect, and to share experiences together. So thank you all for being with us today. I'm excited to share more about Roblox. You're going to get to meet the team. We're going to talk a bit about our technology, our economy. But before we start, I'd like to roll back to well over 20 years ago when Roblox and the concept was first germinated. In a prior company, my co-founder Eric and I built a product called Interactive Physics. It was a 2D physics lab on the computer where students could build just about anything. Balls, ramps, pulleys. And what we saw when we watched these students is that more and more they weren't just learning, they were trying to create and share their creations with others. This got us excited about building a platform that could bring the world together and share experiences. From the start, when we created Roblox, we had a vision of a new category, a category that brought together elements of gaming, entertainment, social media, even construction toys. We call it the human co-experience category, and we think it's the future of social interaction. The Roblox platform and this new and exciting category allows people to do things together, even when they're not physically together. We began with play. Play unites people, it brings joy, it fosters teamwork, and when people play, they do things together and they form really tight bonds. A great way to make friends is to do something together, whether it's going fishing or baking a cake together. Our vision is that billions of people from around the world will come to Roblox to do stuff together. Already today, more than 32 million people come to Roblox each day. In 2020, our community spent more than 30 billion hours on our platform, or an average of 2.6 hours each day. And our creator and dev community, who make everything on Roblox, created over 20 million experiences. We don't think there's any limitation to what Roblox could be and what people will use it for. In the future, just as we've become accustomed to reading about things in books and watching things in videos, more and more when we're learning together, we're going to go to those places. So instead of studying ancient Rome and watching it in a video, I'm going to go with you and my friends and we're going to experience ancient Rome together. We're going to get to walk around, we're going to get to go to the Colosseum, we're going to get to watch the Senate, all in an immersive 3D experience. Meeting and interacting with users from different countries is going to allow people to virtually immerse themselves in different cultures. Some people refer to what we're building as the metaverse, and the metaverse has been a topic that sci-fi writers and futurists have been thinking about for over 30 years. When we think about what we're doing in Roblox, We're shepherds of the metaverse. The time has come with powerful computing devices and cloud computing and high bandwidth internet connections to make the metaverse possible. And in our vision of the metaverse, there's 8 key tenets that together make this all possible. Our first tenet is identity. Identity is me, it's my avatar, it's whoever I want to be. I can be a cartoon character, I can be a fashion model, I can be a soldier. It's who I want to be when I interact with our second tenet, which is my friends. Friends from real life, as well as friends we make on Roblox. And more people are making friends from around the world on our platform and learning about different ways of thinking and different ideas. People come to Roblox with their friends, whether it's to learn, whether it's to work, whether it's to play, whether it's to experience together. And bringing people together and allowing them to do things together is really the foundation of our platform. The third key tenet is immersiveness. Roblox supports a feeling where we lose ourselves, where we're working together in a store, where we're running away from a tornado, where we're hanging out in a virtual place. And as we evolve and as Roblox continues to grow, more and more the immersiveness on Roblox will approach the quality of today's first-run movies. Our fourth tenet is being able to do this anywhere. Any country in the world, quickly and immediately, with friends from any other country. And also the ability of our creators and developers to create content, avatar clothing, experiences that run and work anywhere. The fifth concept of the metaverse and our fifth tenet is variety. Some people refer to this as a long tail. It means there's so much content that just about any place we want to go in the metaverse is there for us to go immediately. Whether it's a theme park, whether together we want to adopt a pet, whether we want to go scuba diving, whether we want to go shopping, whether we want to create and become a superhero, our platform thrives from the amazing variety of content made by our creator and dev community. The sixth tenet is frictionless. When we want to go somewhere in the metaverse, we need to be able to go there instantly, not in 2 minutes, not in 5 minutes, in a matter of seconds. And our top creators want to push their content frictionlessly. They want to make changes, they want to improve, and they want it instantly accessible to all of our users around the world. The seventh tenet of the metaverse is a vibrant economy. We have one at Roblox, and it's supported by a digital currency called Robux. Our users can purchase Robux to customize their avatars and access all kinds of exciting in-experience features and items. And a portion of these transactions go to our developers and our creators, which then convert this Robux back into cash. More and more, our developers and creators are starting to make a living on Roblox. What used to be a hobby has become a job for an individual person, and now is more and more becoming the foundation for large, incredibly creative studios who are emerging on our platform. And with it, there's an amazing variety of occupations that are emerging on Roblox, everything from artists to architects to coders to producers. The eighth tenet of the metaverse is trust and civility. We're building a safe and civil environment. As of December 31st, 2020, we have a team of over 2,300 people protecting users and screening for inappropriate content 24/7. We partner with leading global organizations focused on child and internet safety. We have multiple systems integrated into the Roblox platform to promote civility and to ensure safety. And we're creating systems designed to enforce real-world laws and extend beyond minimum regulatory requirements. We're confident that the Roblox metaverse can help us increase the civility of people around the world. It's these 8 tenets, when combined, that will bring together billions of people around the world on the Roblox platform. How are we going to do this? How are we going to grow? How are we going to bring everyone to the Roblox platform? Roblox is unique in that it's powered by 2 separate viral loops for growth. That means word of mouth, people telling their friends about the platform. The first viral loop is a content viral loop. The content on Roblox is getting better all the time. Our creators are making better content, they're starting to make a living, and as the content gets better, more and more people come to Roblox because the content is so awesome. The more people that come to Roblox to do things with each other, whether they're playing or learning or working, the more useful the platform is, and the more likely their friends are to come and join them as well. These are the 2 viral loops that drive our growth, and when we look at our history, we've seen slow, steady, and now increasingly more rapid growth that's been largely organic. We've launched hundreds and hundreds of features for our community, all allowing their amazing experiences to proliferate on Roblox. And as a byproduct, Roblox is becoming increasingly social. The foundation of Roblox is the developers and the creators. As of December 31st, 2020, there were more than 8 million active developers and creators on our platform, coming from over 170 countries. Developers build all of the immersive and engaging experiences found exclusively on Roblox, and creators build all the clothing and accessories for our avatars. Once again, that's 20 million experiences and millions of avatar marketplace items. The North Star metric for our business is engagement, time spent. And in 2020, there were more than 30 billion hours of engagement on the Roblox platform. The more time people spend on our platform, the more vibrant our economy and the more bookings we generate, and the more we're able to reward our amazing creators and developers. Our platform consists of proprietary technology that works together to enable this symbiotic relationship. And there's 3 main chunks to our platform. Roblox Studio, where developers come together to create, the Roblox client that connects users every month, and behind the scenes, the Roblox Cloud that spans the world and powers Roblox. Dan Sturman, our Chief Technology Officer, will take us all through Roblox Studio.
Thanks, Dave. I'm going to take you through one of the key parts of our platform, Roblox Studio. Roblox Studio is our developer toolset. It's used for building, rendering, launching, and operating 3D experiences on the Roblox platform. Roblox Studio is free, making it easy for developers to bring their imaginations to life and scale their creations globally. Using Roblox Studio, developers can directly manipulate 3D environments, create physics-based interactive models, design complex geometries, provide audio and video capabilities, and script experience mechanics. Roblox Studio is designed to grow with the sophistication of its users, providing an easy on-ramp to new developers while continuing to support our largest experiences built by top developers. For developers new to the platform, Studio offers intuitive tools for building complex 3D objects, for implementing physics behavior through connectors like hinges or springs, and for painting rich terrains into a virtual world. The underlying physics engine ensures a realistic experience as objects interact with players and each other. Developers build these experiences once, but then deploy them to all supported devices, including iOS, Android, PC, Mac, and Xbox, as well as virtual reality experiences on PC using Oculus Rift and HTC Vive headsets. For our more sophisticated developers, Roblox Studio provides access to things like our social network, user communication, monetization tools, and our moderation system. Developers can also code complex behaviors into their virtual experience with Roblox Lua. Lua is an easy-to-learn, interpreted, lightweight programming language that is common in the gaming industry and that we have extended at Roblox. Roblox Lua provides APIs for manipulating almost any aspect of the world's appearance or behavior, and it's powered by a highly optimized interpreter. Studio also provides a powerful integrated development environment, or IDE, for Lua development. The IDE helps developers better understand and structure Lua code, and also includes an interactive Lua debugger, For larger teams, we've provided built-in collaboration tools. They allow authoring and editing of world objects and scripts between a group of devs. Developers can share their work through the Studio Marketplace. The Studio Marketplace drives collaboration within our developer community, accelerates creation of new experiences, and provides additional ways for developers to monetize their work. As of December 31st, 2020, the Studio Marketplace contained over 35 million models, meshes, textures, scripts, audio clips, developer tools, and packaged combinations of these items. In addition to providing Studio, we also support our developers with reference material, community forums, and analytics. The Roblox Developer Hub provides API documentation, sample projects and examples, and tutorials for developers of all skill levels. Roblox Analytics gives developers access to summarize data about the performance of their creations. It includes user counts, retention rates, and general monetization trends. The Roblox Developer Forum is a private forum for qualified developers, which provides insight on new features, community initiatives, recruiting opportunities, bug reporting, and direct engagement with the team at Roblox. To seed the next generation of Roblox developers, the Roblox EDU Hub provides content for educators, students, and parents who are using Roblox as a tool to learn coding, 3D design, and, of course, digital civility. Roblox Studio has led to a tremendous amount of new, engaging content. Top experiences on the platform are constantly evolving. In fact, between January 1st, 2015 and December 31st, 2020, almost half of the top experiences in a given year were created in the prior 2 years. We expect this trend to continue as we attract more developers to the platform. But instead of just hearing all this from me, I wanted you to hear it from some of our developers.
Roblox gives you a very flexible platform, and also the platform is full stack. It provides pretty much everything I can think of as a developer. The client engine, server engine, the marketing engine. I don't need to worry about any of them because on Roblox, there are so many users.
For my 12th year in high school, I wanted to focus more on Roblox. I thought to myself, this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing.
Eventually, I picked up programming around when I was 13 or 14, and ultimately is what set me on my path to become a business owner and start managing large teams, and Roblox is the best place to do it.
We have 8 employees, and I'd say about 5 contractors. And that's a mix of coders and builders and artists, and it just grew from there, I guess.
So Toya is a female-led studio that develops games to empower a growing user base of girls in the world. With Roblox, we finally found the right place to do that.
We converted the entire studio to all working on Roblox. As of today, we have more than 50 developers.
Toya has 11 full-time employees and a couple of subcontractors. We are based in Tel Aviv, but also have women working with us from Europe. We intend to grow the company to become 40 people by next year.
We are trying to make a better future for our next generation, for our world.
Those developer stories are pretty incredible, especially how some have quickly grown from a single dev to full companies. We've seen that continued investment in our developer community leads to better content, which leads to improved user engagement and growth. We nurture this virtuous cycle by giving our developers and creators the tools to build, publish, operate, and monetize content. We then closely monitor the health and success of our developer community as measured by the earnings and user engagement in each of these experiences. Developers have enjoyed meaningful earnings expansion over time. This incentivizes them to build high-quality, engaging, and immersive content, which then powers our scale, engagement, and bookings growth. Now back to Dave, who will take us into Roblox Client.
Thanks, Dan, for that awesome update on Roblox Studio. Adam Miller, our VP of Technology, is going to walk us through the Roblox Client.
Thanks, Dave. The Roblox Client is the application you download onto your device to experience Roblox. Our goal is to bring the metaverse everywhere. We want people, no matter where they are in the world, whatever device they're using, to experience Roblox. Roblox runs on desktop computers, Mac and PC, mobile devices, iOS and Android, Xbox, and some desktop VR systems. Every day, millions of users from 180 different countries load the Roblox client and use it to explore immersive 3D worlds with their friends. When users launch Roblox, they first create their identity. Identity is a user's avatar on our platform. Users can customize their avatar and accessorize with clothing, animations, and emotes. All of these customizations are available in the Avatar Marketplace, accessible from our avatar editor. There are plenty of cool free items. There are also items that can be bought using our virtual currency, called Robux, which is available to purchase right in the Roblox client. This personalized avatar persists in all of the millions of experiences on Roblox. Next, users want to find friends. This is what we call the social graph. These are the connections users make with people all over the world. Some are real-life friends, others are friends made on Roblox. Safety is paramount. We filter all text communications to block inappropriate content, including profanity and personal information. The goal is to enable safe and positive communication. Communicating with friends is key to our social experience. When users communicate, they engage more, play together more, and even make more purchases. As of December 31st, 2020, we were processing 2 billion chat messages each day. People really want to talk with their friends. Text chat is the core of Roblox communication today. In the future, we expect to open up communication through a safe voice chat. We help users discover what content they'll enjoy from our wide range of experiences. Our sophisticated AI models make recommendations based on what you've played, how often, and for how long. We also look at what your friends are playing, both in real time, and what they played recently, so users can join them. New experiences are created on Roblox every day. We're also looking for emerging trends to help users find new worlds to explore. You can also search for experiences by name or by genre. We've built a lot of interesting technology to make this work well. We detect misspellings, abbreviations, and slang. For example, if users search for obby, that's Roblox slang for obstacle course, and our search will find it. We're investing a lot in search and discovery, and Craig Donato, our Chief Business Officer, is going to talk more about that later. Not only is it easy to search, but it is easy to join. It's frictionless. Jumping in and out of experiences is super fast. In fact, users engage with about 20 different experiences each month. This is something we spent many years optimizing. We do this by incrementally loading the world. We load the area around your avatar first, then quickly load in more and more of the world. Same with avatars. First we load your avatar, and the avatars that are closest to you, and then expand to the ones further off in the distance, possibly numbering in the hundreds. This is all so you don't have to wait to start playing. Roblox is also accessible from anywhere. Our users come from over 180 different countries, so it's important for us to provide location-specific discovery, marketplace, and content. We provide truly personalized experiences with the least amount of friction. We think a lot about the visuals. They are key to immersion. Fundamentally, a 3D world is visceral, and we have rendering technology to make it look awesome. We render blocks, meshes, which are 3D shapes, and we have a voxelized terrain system to load in large organic worlds. And then advanced lighting techniques to make it all shine and come together. To make this all performant, we've adapted hardware-specific, low-level APIs, such as Metal and Vulkan, that make the rendering really efficient. We automatically scale up and down the level of detail at which we render different objects, depending on different device capabilities. Roblox is device agnostic. We put a lot of effort into making sure content runs on every type of device, no matter what the hardware characteristics, no matter what the bandwidth. As users explore these 3D worlds, they control the camera and how the avatar moves. We've built awesome, intuitive controls for all the different device formats. If you're on desktop, you control with keyboard and mouse. On a mobile device, you'll have touch and pinch and zoom. And in VR, you'll have intuitive VR controls that work in that very different environment. Finally, simulation brings this 3D world to life. Custom physics engine uses rigid body physics, enabling objects to bump into each other, and we get fun destruction. And we have constraint-based physics, which simulates mechanisms like vehicles and machines. Roblox is an amazing, immersive experience. In 2020, we saw more than 30 billion hours of engagement, which was up over 120% from 2019. We've learned that the more we increase the quality of our client, the more we grow. And we're going to keep innovating, expanding the ability to create more immersive, bigger worlds, new types of experiences. Thank you so much. Now handing it back to you, Dave.
Thank you, Adam. The final component of the Roblox platform is the Roblox Cloud. This is where everything runs behind the scenes around the world, and we've uniquely built our own cloud. Our own cloud drives the performance of Roblox, it makes Roblox really reliable, and ultimately, it's also extremely cost efficient. Dan Sturman, back to you for more about the Roblox Cloud.
Thanks, Dave. Adam just talked about how Roblox Client enables users to experience and quickly move through high-fidelity 3D experiences. As he said, they do this with friends, and they can play from anywhere in the world. But client devices can be very limited in their computing power. The Roblox Cloud provides the horsepower so that millions of users can have an incredible, low-latency, responsive experience. Each 3D experience in Roblox is implemented by multiple distinct instances where a group of users play together. A unique feature of the Roblox Cloud is that it can support hundreds of users within an instance. We then scale up the number of instances to support potentially millions of concurrent users in a particular experience. So how does that work? When a user joins, our cloud works together with our client to assign that user to a particular instance. We have sophisticated logic that picks the ideal instance based on things like the user's friends, geographic location, preferred language, skill level, or age group. When the number of users in a given experience increases, the cloud automatically spawns additional instances and deploys them onto physical servers. Creation and deployment of new instances all happens without any involvement from the developer. This means we can scale an experience to millions of concurrent users. In addition to providing the service that run 3D experiences, the Roblox Cloud supports high-speed data stores, where information about users and their simulated environments can be saved. This allows developers to build, launch, scale, and monetize their 3D experiences without any additional tools or services. Localization and compliance systems are also embedded into the Roblox Cloud to help our developers meet regional requirements with little effort. The cloud lets developers build experiences in their native language and then automatically translate those experiences into 11 different languages. This is all possible through the power of machine learning and makes Roblox accessible anywhere. The services and infrastructure that power our human co-experience platform are massive and global. To ensure we can provide the best possible experience for our users and developers, we've spent the last several years building our own infrastructure with a focus on reliability, performance, and cost. We operate more than 21,000 servers from data centers and points of presences, or POPs, across 21 cities in North America, Asia, and Europe, handling 12 million requests per second. The majority of services provided by the Roblox Cloud are hosted in these Roblox managed data centers, though in some cases we do leverage third-party providers. The intent of our geographically distributed model is to provide a low latency and performant experience to our worldwide user base. We will continue to expand our footprint to meet demand. For example, we're building data centers in new areas like India to help improve developer and user experience in that rapidly growing market. Building out our own data centers and cloud services through our hybrid approach doesn't just help us optimize performance, but allows us to achieve these goals at significantly lower cost than using third-party cloud providers. Reliability also benefits in this model. By managing our own relationships with global network providers, we're able to ensure a higher quality of service through our network fabric. Tight management of our supply chain and good capacity modeling allow us to respond effectively to changing needs. For example, with the onset of COVID-19 and the corresponding increase in user demand, we were able to quickly drop new server capacity into hotspots across the globe. We do still leverage third-party cloud providers for new services, where scale is small and we're optimizing for time to delivery. In this way, our hybrid approach ensures cost optimization without any drag on our speed of innovation. I'll now hand it back to Dave.
Thanks, Dan. We've all heard of CPUs and GPUs. A fun fact for the Roblox community is that more and more within the Roblox cloud, we're building our own hardware to mount in racks around the world to power Roblox, and we call these IPUs. IPU stands in a Roblox authentic way for Imagination Processing Unit. Now let's take a look at our economy. Our vibrant economy powers our creators and developers, it supports them as they grow their teams and studios, and it ultimately provides our community with amazing content. Mike Guthrie, our Roblox CFO, is going to share more about the Roblox economy.
Thanks, Dave. Roblox is truly a robust virtual economy. Like dollars, pounds, euros, and yen in the real world, Robux is the currency in Roblox. Users buy Robux from Roblox and spend them in two ways. First is in the avatar marketplace, where users purchase virtual items such as clothes, gear, and accessories in order to customize their avatars and invest in their identity. The creator community on Roblox builds and sells the majority of these marketplace items. Second are in-experience items. Within the millions of user-generated experiences on Roblox, users can purchase specific items built by the developers of those individual experiences. The number of items for sale is vast and includes everything from pets to furniture for your virtual home to race cars. The developer community builds all of the individual experiences and decides what users have to pay for and the prices to charge. When users spend Robux in the avatar marketplace or in experiences, the creators and developers earn those Robux, which can be spent on or invested in the Roblox platform. Earned Robux can also be converted back into real-world currency at an exchange rate that we determine. This system is a powerful economic incentive for the community to develop better and more engaging content on the Roblox platform. For the year ending December 31st, 2020, over 1.25 million developers and creators earned Robux, and the community as a whole earned approximately $329 million. Over 1,250 developers and creators earned more than $10,000, and over 300 earned $100,000 or more. Players can buy Robux either a la carte or through Roblox Premium, our subscription service, which we recently launched and is billed monthly. While most of our users purchase Robux on an a la carte basis each month, we have steadily grown our Roblox Premium subscriber base. Roblox Premium allows players to acquire Robux at a discount and provides other advantages, including discounts on items in the avatar marketplace, limited item trading and selling, and special benefits within certain experiences. We accept payment for Robux through app stores, credit cards, PayPal, and prepaid cards. And the average price for one Robux for the 12 months ended December 31st, 2020 was 1 cent. Here's an example of inexperienced virtual items from Driving Simulator. Developers receive approximately 70% of the Robux spent in their experiences, and inexperienced sales account for a majority of all Robux spending on our platform. Here's an example of items in the avatar marketplace. Note the names of the items and the price in Robux below. There are millions of items in the current catalog, and creators earn 30% of the Robux spent on their creations. Outside of inexperienced spending, avatar marketplace spending represents the second biggest component of player purchases. Developers can also create content and tools that they sell to other developers within our studio marketplace. Developers receive 70% of the Robux spent on these items as well. To summarize, creators and developers earn Robux in 4 ways: the sale of access to experiences and a wide range of inexperienced virtual items, the sale of avatar marketplace items, the sale of content and tools between developers in the studio marketplace, and finally, engagement-based payouts. Launched in 2020, engagement-based payouts are Robux that developers earn based on the amount of time that premium subscribers spend in their experiences. It's a program to encourage and support developers who have built engaging experiences as they consider additional monetization options such as in-game purchases. We believe that this program has substantially increased the number of developers earning Robux, and it has become a strong incentive for developers to continue building content on the Roblox platform. In fact, we plan to increase the percentage of subscriber spend that we pay to developers through this program going forward. The Roblox economy is thriving. In all of fiscal year 2020, payers spent approximately $1.9 billion on our platform, or about 190 billion Robux. Payer spending sends clear signals to developers and creators about the quality of their creations. The ability to earn Robux is an effective incentive to the Roblox creator community to continue building better and more engaging content that attracts a growing, engaged user base. Back to you, Dave.
Thank you, Mike. We're going to talk about growth and how Roblox is growing to where it has gotten to today, and how ultimately we're going to grow to support billions of users. There's 4 key dimensions in the growth of Roblox. The first is connecting everyone around the world, whether it's in North America, Europe, and even now in China with our new license. The second vector is every age. All ages are already on Roblox, and more people of all ages are coming to our platform. The third dimension for growth, and this one's really out of the box, is thinking about gaming as really just the first vertical on our platform amongst many other verticals that all involve bringing people together and allowing people to do things together even when they can't be together in real life. Everything from learning to working to experiencing entertainment. And finally, of course, is the expansion of our vibrant economy. Craig Donato, our Chief Business Officer, is going to kick off discussion about the 4 growth vectors for Roblox.
Thanks, Dave. My name is Craig Donato. I'm the Chief Business Officer at Roblox. As Dave mentioned, I'm going to review the 4 major strategic growth areas for Roblox. Together, they will enable us to achieve our long-term vision and impact over 1 billion users. They are, number 1, extend our international reach, growing our user base across the world. 2, broaden the age demographics on our platform. 3, expand how people use our platform by supporting new use cases for human co-experience. And 4, grow the Roblox economy and how we monetize engagement on our platform. International expansion is our most mature growth area. We've enjoyed strong organic word-of-mouth growth around the world with both users and developers. Nearly 2/3 of our usage is already outside of the US and Canada. And while we continue to enjoy healthy growth rates in the US and Canada, we are seeing faster growth in all other regions of the world. We see a lot of potential to significantly expand our global reach with consistent execution. Roblox is currently available in many different languages, including English, Spanish, French, German, Portuguese, Korean, Japanese, and Chinese. Supporting a language means more than simply translating the Roblox application. We need to spin up a team of people that speak that language to do customer support and moderation. We also need to enhance our safety and moderation systems for that language to filter inappropriate content. For example, train our algorithms to look for swear words in Russian. Soon, we'll be completing the rollout of our machine translation infrastructure. This will enable all of the experiences on our platform to automatically be translated into all of our supported languages. Prior to this, experiences had to be manually translated by the developer. Machine translation should be a big driver for international growth by fueling our network effects, be able to enjoy and engage our content. These new users will invite more of their local friends onto our platform, fueling the social network effect. And increased traction in the market also attracts more local content developers, fueling the content network effect. Once we roll out support for a language, we then look for organic traction. When we see significant adoption in the form of daily active users, we'll then do the work to officially launch in a market. And to do this, we've built our own compliance framework. This framework lets us dynamically configure how Roblox operates for specific regions around the world so that we can comply with local laws and regulations. For example, regulations involving screen time or authenticating identity. And I should note that compliance is very much a dynamic process. For example, Brazil is working on their own version of GDPR, regulations involving online privacy. We're currently investigating what changes, if any, we will need to make to support these new rules. Once we are officially in market, we'll go back to letting organic growth occur. We then invest in a variety of programs to support that market when we feel we have a big enough presence. For example, influencer relations, brand partnerships, corporate communications. China is a market where we have a tremendous opportunity, but it does require a different approach. We've established a joint venture in China with Tencent called Lubu. Tencent recently received a license from the Chinese government to publish our platform on both PC and mobile devices. We feel we are well poised for success in China. Lubu will launch with the benefits of our network effects through a strong content catalog, both from games already in our catalog, as well as from our growing developer community in China, through an ability to provide global reach to local developers who are already creating experiences within China, and by working with Tencent to leverage their large social graph. We are also working to expand the age demographics of our platform. We've had tremendous success reaching the 13 and under audience. Our goal, however, is to create a platform and brand that appeals to all ages, from people that are 6 to 60. So what exactly are we doing to further expand our age demographics? First, we're enabling developers to build more polished experiences that will appeal to a wider range of users. The progress we've made in this area is fairly dramatic. 10 years ago, experiences on our platform were basic and simplistic. 5 years ago, you can see how we improved the complexity and fidelity of what could be designed. And today, we are enabling deeply immersive experiences through dynamic simulation, faster loading, and more sophisticated rendering. With these new, higher fidelity capabilities, developers can increase the depth and immersiveness of their experiences. And we're already seeing success with titles that have a majority of users over the age of 13. Another area we are rapidly evolving is our avatar technology. Avatars are important because they promote loyalty, engagement, and investment in a user's virtual identity. We are working to provide users with a wide range of identity options so they can select not only what appeals to them, but what truly reflects who or what they want to be. We will also be giving users the ability to layer their clothing, for example, wearing a backpack on top of a jacket on top of a t-shirt. This is important because we want users to treat their avatars as their digital selves. A significant percentage of our DAUs change their avatars in some way every day, just like changing their clothes in real life. As well as improving the look and feel of our avatars, we're also very interested in technologies that can do things like track body movement or mimic facial expressions. You may have seen the news that we recently acquired the company Loom AI. Loom AI specializes in facial tracking and animation. This is an area that will make our avatars more lifelike, as well as enable richer and more subtle forms of communication through things like smiles and eye gestures. We are also improving how we better match users with the right content. Adam already talked about personalized search and discovery, but it's worth touching on that here again, given the vast size of our content offering. Personalized recommendations put more appropriate and relevant content in front of all our users, including the older ones. We personalize recommendations based on a person's age, geography, social graph, and skill level. And we're now working on content ratings to better match users with experiences that are appropriate for their age. Since launch, personalized search and discovery has led to both increased engagement from our users, as well as a wider distribution of engagement across all of our experiences. All of these efforts work together to expand our demographics through our core network effects. As more aged-up content appears, it will attract older users. Those older users invite friends their own age onto our platform. And as more older users come to our platform, it becomes even more attractive for developers to produce aged-up content. Although we are in the early stage of expanding our demographics, we're demonstrating success. 44% of our DAUs are now from users over the age of 13, a good portion of which have been on our platform for years, underscoring our success with retention. And our 17 to 24 age group grew faster than our core under 13 age group in 2020. These charts are good early barometers of what's possible on the Roblox platform. So I've talked about expanding our audience, both internationally and demographically. We're also expanding how people use our platform through the introduction of new use cases. Roblox is a platform where people do things together in the digital world. We're a medium of shared experience. Right now, they share fun adventures, like breaking out of jail, surviving a natural disaster, or exploring a jungle. But as we continue to enhance our platform, the range of shared experiences will expand well beyond play. Dave is now going to talk to you about this next strategic growth area. Dave?
Thank you, Craig. The third vector of our future growth is expanding from play to learning to experiencing and ultimately even to working together on the Roblox platform. It goes well beyond play. When we experience concerts together, we dance together, we chat with our friends, we dress up, we move around the venue to get a better view. Concerts aren't something we just consume, they really are naturally something we do together. The concerts we've done on Roblox have been amazing, they've been immersive, and millions of people from our community have attended them recently. Our little NASX concert was just a start. There's a lot more to come here. When we think of learning on Roblox, it goes well beyond learning to code and design and create 3D experiences. It goes into a future with educational content where together we can jump into a physics experiment, or instead of watching and studying birds, we can together be birds and figure out what it's like to be a bird, to have to find food to survive. And finally, when we come together in a virtual Roblox classroom, we can do a lot of things that are very hard to do if we're at a distance. Together we could dissect a frog, we can meet in the hallway between classes with friends, and ultimately, someday, we might even walk down that aisle to get our diplomas within an immersive 3D environment. Finally, the future of working together includes working together part of the time in virtual environments. And for the past several months, we've been hosting our Roblox All Hands meetings in Roblox. And our Roblox holiday party within Roblox was amazing. Doing these types of things together in a 3D environment allows us to sit next to our friends. It allows us to have spontaneous conversations with others based on where we walk around. And in our holiday party, some of us chose to go to the main stage, some of us chose to play games, and some of us got to hang out in the virtual bar. Just as the mail, the telegraph, the telephone, text, and video are all utilities for collaborative work, we believe Roblox and the metaverse will join these as essential tools for business communication. You know, the final growth vector is our economy, and as our economy expands, there's amazing opportunities for super high quality, immersive brand advertising that is native and authentic and feels really good on our platform. And ultimately someday we may even shop within Roblox. Craig Donato is going to finish talking about our 4 growth vectors with a discussion around the economy.
Thanks, Dave. Our primary focus is expanding engagement. Separately, we're exploring ways to grow the Roblox economy and improve monetization. First, we want to remove any unnecessary friction users may have when they purchase Robux, our virtual currency. Second, we want to enable users to easily purchase avatar merchandise and gear. And third, we're testing ways to have select brands participate in our economy and engage with users in ways that enhance user experience. There are a number of things we're doing to reduce friction when purchasing Robux. As part of international expansion, we continue to support new currencies and payment methods across the globe. Second, we broadly distribute prepaid cards, both in physical and digital form. This is especially important for younger users who don't have access to a credit card or within international markets that are primarily driven by cash. Probably the most interesting way we're removing friction is through Roblox Premium, our subscription offering. As Mike outlined earlier, Roblox Premium does 2 things. It provides premium subscribers with a recurring stipend of Robux at a discounted rate. So for example, every month the subscriber gets 500 Robux to spend. It also functions like a VIP program, enabling subscribers to get access to premium-only features or items only purchasable with Premium. We plan to continue to refine and enhance Roblox Premium. The second way we're expanding the economy is to improve how merchandise is created and sold on our platform. The biggest change we've made here is to move to a UGC-driven avatar marketplace. Prior to 2020, our avatar marketplace was primarily populated by items that Roblox designed. In the near term, we plan to complete the transition to a 100% UGC-driven avatar marketplace. Although we are early in this transition, the creativity and entrepreneurial spirit of these creators has driven huge growth. These creators are not only building a lot more cool stuff, they are actively promoting it both on our platform as well as through social media. And third, we're exploring ways to have select brands interact with their fans on Roblox and appropriately participate in our economy. We're working with brands to sell branded merchandise in our catalog. We tested this program out over the last year with a number of large brands, and our users very much enjoyed it. Millions of branded items were downloaded through our promotion with Disney around the last Avengers movie and a promotion with the NFL around the Super Bowl. We're also working with entertainment brands to help them debut new content. Roblox has worked with movie studios to promote the debut of new movies like Ready Player One, Avengers, and Aquaman with interactive experiences. We also recently worked with the recording artist Ava Max to launch the release of her new single. This 15-minute launch event on Roblox attracted more than 1 million users. And lastly, brands have become interested in establishing their own presence on Roblox, something we call branded worlds. An analogy for this would be Facebook, where they invited brands onto their platform to create pages so they could connect to consumers. We're doing something similar, but on Roblox, brands can create fully interactive experiences to engage with their fans. Our first branded world was launched with DC Comics, and to date it has received millions of visitors. We'll be experimenting with several other branded worlds in 2021. As we focus on growing our business, we will stay true to our values and guiding principles. I'd now like to hand it off to Barb, our Chief Marketing and People Experience Officer, who can share more about how we foster innovation and operate in a values-driven way, and to tell you more about our brand.
Thanks, Craig. It's great to be here today. I'm excited to share more about our company's operating philosophy and our brand. Roblox is an extremely mission and values-aligned company, and from our earliest days, we have embraced 5 core values that drive our decisions and actions. Our first value is respect the community. We put the needs of our user and developer community above our own. Second, we take the long view. We incorporate our long-term goals in every decision. We're building the metaverse, and we need to take the long view to bring that vision to life. Third, we get stuff done. We have a bias towards action, and we are a very motivated bunch. Fourth, we self-organize. We define our own path aligned by a shared vision. Our final value is own it. We own the outcomes for which we're responsible.
These values form the basis of Roblox's culture. Being this way has allowed us to attract more than 960 full-time employees as of December 31st, 2020. We also have 2,300 trust and safety professionals working around the world 24 hours a day and 7 days a week, ensuring civility and safety on the platform.
As we evolve the Roblox platform, we're investing heavily in attracting and retaining key talent, especially in product and engineering. We monitor our progress with human capital metrics such as engagement, turnover, and time to fill open roles. We also look at ratio of internally developed talent to external hires and ratios of technical talent to overall employees. We're able to recruit best-in-class engineering talent because of our reputation for innovation, our brand, and market position. Most of all, they're attracted by the ambition of our goal, building a human code experience platform, and empowering some of the most creative developers in the world to bring their imaginations to life. One of the most unique things about Roblox is the set of principles that guide how we operate. We call it the Roblox operating system. We believe innovation happens when people share a common vision and work with autonomy. That's why our vision and values are our founding principles of our people operating system. Our company is made of a large number of autonomous teams guided by a simple set of principles to pursue our vision. Each team has the autonomy and the mandate to tackle audacious problems, and they are able to flex and iterate and adapt. Today we have about 50 teams, but ultimately we could grow to 200 teams. These teams have the power of a small startup, and they are all unified by our mission and our priorities. This approach drives innovation with the company at scale, it maximizes accountability, and it drives creativity.
Finally, with over 32 million people on Roblox every day, our brand's wide reach is key in attracting and retaining top talent.
The strength of our brand is a key competitive advantage for us, and we continue to benefit from it, and we continue to invest in it. Our go-to-market approach is driven by the strength and enhancement of our brand. It's driven by organic adoption across our user, creator, and developer communities, and by an influencer-based marketing strategy. We rely primarily on our owned and earned channels and word of mouth to drive user acquisition. This strategy has been integral to our growth. Not only do we enjoy deep engagement on our platform, but we're investing further through products and experiences beyond the platform. For example, we leverage our IP with products such as branded apparel and toys. We do this to celebrate our developers and to drive brand awareness. Our entertainment partnerships also build brand awareness and drive engagement on the platform. We invest heavily in trust and safety. It is a top priority. We view it as our responsibility, but it also serves as a competitive advantage. And we will keep our focus in this area every single day. With that, let me hand it back over to Dave.
Thank you, Barb. We've been talking a lot about the metaverse and our platform and how we're growing. Now let's go to Mike Guthrie, our CFO, to talk a bit about the numbers and the business.
Thanks, Dave. Roblox has an efficient, scalable business model that produces great unit economics and has a proven track record of generating cash. I know I talked about this earlier, but let me summarize again briefly. In our virtual economy, users have the ability to buy our virtual currency, Robux. They can do two things with the Robux they've purchased: spend it on their avatar or spend it in one of the millions of experiences on our platform. When users spend Robux, a portion of that transaction goes into the developer's wallet. Developers can take that currency and either spend it on the platform themselves or exchange it for real-world currency. This economic incentive powers the quantity and quality of the content on Roblox, thereby attracting more and more users, and has enabled hundreds of members of our community to build their own businesses on Roblox. While we as a management team track many metrics, we believe there are three key performance indicators for Roblox. Daily active users, or DAUs, is the number of unique users each day. Hours engaged is the number of hours spent on the platform by our users, and it's a metric that reflects not only how engaging the content on our platform is, but also how social the platform has become, and finally, how our economy is progressing and evolving. And last, bookings, the amount of Robux purchased by users in a certain time period. Let's dive into each one of these metrics now. Since 2018, Roblox has delivered consistently high rates of sequential as well as year-over-year growth in both daily active users and hours engaged. Since Q1 of 2018, driven by increasing amounts of engaging content and largely word of mouth, daily active users grew 3.6 times from 10.3 million to 37.1 million in Q4 of 2020. On an annual basis, DAUs grew 47% from 12 million in 2018 to 17.6 million in 2019, and then grew more than 85% to 32.6 million in 2020. Since the first quarter of 2018, engagement hours grew by over 4x from 2.1 billion hours to 8.4 billion hours in Q4 of 2020. On an annual basis, hours engaged grew 45% from 9.4 billion hours to 13.7 billion hours, or an average of 2.1 hours per day per user. In 2020, annual engagement grew 124% to 30.6 billion hours, or an average of 2.6 hours per day per user. Our key growth drivers over the past few years have been international expansion and aging up. In 2020, all international markets grew faster than the US and Canada. Specifically, the Rest of World designation, which is primarily Latin America, more than doubled over 2019, while growth in Europe nearly doubled, led by significant expansion in the Western European region. Roblox is also increasingly appealing to an older user base. In 2020, DAUs over the age of 13 grew 107%, and now account for 44% of total daily active users. When users purchase Robux from us, we call that bookings. We believe it's the best reflection of the economic activity happening on Roblox. We take in cash at the moment of purchase with no refund obligation. Since the first quarter of 2018, bookings grew by 5.3x from $120.2 million to $642.3 million in Q4 of 2020. On an annual basis, bookings grew 39% from $499 million to $694.3 million in 2019, and then grew 171% to $1.9 billion in 2020. I'd like to spend a moment speaking about our revenue recognition policies. Per generally accepted accounting principles and in accordance with ASC 606, we recognize purchases on the Roblox platform on a per item basis, based on whether the purchase was a consumable or durable virtual item. Consumable virtual items are items that are consumed by a specific user action, and we recognize revenue as the items are consumed. Durable items, on the other hand, are items such as clothing or accessories that are accessible to a user as long as they are on the Roblox platform, and we recognize revenue associated with these bookings over the average life of a payer, which now stands at 23 months. This revenue recognition policy required us to restate our financials and resulted in a slight increase in revenue recognized in prior periods and a slight decrease to our net loss. This new accounting methodology does not change our daily active users, hours, bookings, or cash flow. GAAP revenue grew 82% from $508.4 million in 2019 to $923.9 million in 2020. By adding the change in deferred revenue as discussed above, we can bridge GAAP revenue to bookings. As a public company, we will report quarterly and annual daily active users, hours, and bookings in addition to GAAP revenue and operating cash flow. For the year ended December 31st, 2020, 44% of Roblox users identified as 13 years old or older, and 68% of all daily active users were from outside of the US and Canada. With the efforts that Craig outlined earlier, we believe we can continue to penetrate older age demographics and grow our user bases in international markets. I now want to walk you through the key components of our cost structure and talk about how we expect these costs will evolve as we continue to scale our business. 4 items account for about 90% of our cost structure: cost of revenue, developer exchange fees, personnel costs, and infrastructure and trust and safety costs. As a management team, we are constantly monitoring these costs as they directly affect our bookings and our cash flow. Cost of revenue consists primarily of payment processing fees for Robux purchases made through the Apple iTunes and Google Play stores, which account for most of our users' purchases. These costs also include processing fees associated with other payment methods, such as credit card or PayPal, as well as costs associated with the sale of our prepaid cards, which are popular as gifts, especially around the holidays. Cost of revenue simply represents the cost we pay to process these transactions. Approximately 2/3 of our business is through mobile devices. So these costs are mostly the 30% fees that Apple and Google charge us for Robux purchases made on their platforms. This is our largest cost. Developer exchange fees are the amount of Robux that developers earn on the platform. It is one of our largest areas of spending, and growing this amount and the developer's share is a key area of investment for us. In fact, we expect that any efficiencies we may drive in lowering the payment processing costs will largely or entirely be moved into developer exchange fees. Personnel costs are primarily the salaries and benefits for our employees, nearly 80% of whom are on our engineering and product teams. We are constantly recruiting the best engineering and product talent we can find and will, for the foreseeable future, continue to make significant investments here. We pay competitive salaries, offer great benefits, and incentivize employees with stock options and restricted stock. Finally, infrastructure and trust and safety expenses are the operating costs related to running the Roblox cloud, primarily the cost of our data centers and points of presence around the world. Over the past 3 years, cost of revenue increased from 22% of revenue in 2018 to 26% of revenue in 2020 as purchases through the mobile app stores increased. Developer exchange fees grew from $72 million in 2018 to $112 million in 2019. And in 2020, developer exchange fees were $329 million. Again, investing in our developer community is a top priority. So we expect these costs to grow at the same rate as or even faster than bookings. Personnel costs, excluding stock-based compensation, grew from $88 million in 2018 to $133 million in 2019 and to $214 million in 2020. The cost of the stock options and RSUs, which is non-cash, is not included in these expense numbers. Finally, infrastructure and trust and safety expenses, excluding stock-based compensation and depreciation, grew from $92 million in 2018 to $128 million in 2019. In 2020, infrastructure and trust and safety expenses, excluding stock-based compensation and depreciation, were $216 million. This is an area that scales with user growth and, like personnel costs, have been growing at a slower rate than bookings from 2019 to 2020, demonstrating the leverage we have in our business. Investments in our platform and payments to developers enable the community to create and build better content, which attracts more users and increases engagement. The productivity of these investments drives the strong unit economics of our business model and has allowed us to generate positive operating cash flow over the past several years. During the 12 months ending December 31st, 2020, operating cash flow was $524 million, which is up from $99.2 million in 2019 and $101 million in 2018. Free cash flow, which subtracts capital expenditures and intangible assets from operating cash flow, for the same periods were $411.2 million in 2020, up from $14.5 million in 2019 and $35 million in 2018. And here are the specific reconciliations for free cash flow in 2019 and 2020. As the company continues to scale, we expect to continue generating positive operating cash flow. As of December 31st, 2020, we had over $893 million of cash and cash equivalents on our balance sheet, despite having only raised approximately $336 million through equity investments through 2020. Our ability to generate cash is driven by organic user growth coupled with user-generated content on our platform that enables a highly efficient business model. Now that we have demonstrated the business's ability to generate significant cash, I want to reiterate that you should expect us to invest even more in the developer community and in engineering and product talent. We believe that those investments are the best ways for us to reach our ambition of connecting over 1 billion users around the world on Roblox. Let's look at the developer part of the equation in more detail. The Roblox platform, composed of the Roblox client, Roblox Studio, and the Roblox Cloud, offers an attractive value proposition to developers. Roblox provides all of the following: game engine and tools, servers and hosting, billing and payments, translation and global compliance, moderation and customer support, and access to a large and rapidly growing global user base. By developing on Roblox, developers can focus singularly on content creation. Our business model is such that developers share in the economics generated by the high-quality experiences they build. This motivates them to constantly refresh and build new content. In 2020, our developers and creators earned $329 million, up from $112 million during the same period last year. As a result of growing economic incentives, developers are constantly creating and updating experiences on Roblox and driving our content ecosystem. This chart demonstrates the amount of new content that is constantly being created and refreshed on Roblox. Dan mentioned that half of the top 100 experiences were created in the last 2 years. But what is interesting also is that some of the top experiences were created 5, 6, or even 7 years ago, which speaks to the long-term value of content that we have on our platform. Our content is also very well distributed among users. The top 100 experiences capture only 65% of total hours spent by users on Roblox. The quantity and depth of content on Roblox is what leads to our users engaging in approximately 20 unique experiences monthly on average, and leads them to spend roughly 2.6 hours per day on Roblox. The engaging content and continuous flow of new experiences on Roblox has led to attractive user monetization. Content velocity drives user engagement and increased monetization over long periods of time across all geographies. We're showing here cohorted bookings per sign-up in different regions. Each curve on these graphs represents a quarterly sign-up cohort going back to Q1 of 2016. The x-axis is time in months, and the y-axis is cumulative cohorted bookings per sign-up. In each of our major geographic regions, each cohort has continued to grow cumulative bookings with no evident flattening of the rate of monetization. In addition, each new, more recent cohort, represented by the darker lines, shows more cumulative bookings per sign-up at given points of time along the x-axis. These charts highlight how over the last couple of years, users across all geographies have consistently continued to pay more as the experiences on our platform get better and the longer users are on our platform. In other words, the ever-changing experiences combined with improving quality in these experiences lead to continued monetization for very long periods of time. As we look ahead to our long-term operating model, we think it's best to think about it in the context of the 4 cost buckets I mentioned earlier. First, cost of revenue will grow at least ratably with revenue. Apple and Google both charge 30% for purchases made on their platforms. And as our user base becomes increasingly mobile, the percentage of cost of revenue will follow suit. Second, personnel costs, excluding stock-based compensation, are expected to grow as we continue to hire great employees who advance the platform. In the long run, we expect this area to be a source of leverage and grow at a slower rate than bookings. Likewise, we expect infrastructure and trust and safety costs to grow as the number of users on the Roblox platform grows, but we expect to see economies of scale savings in the long run. And finally, developer exchange fees. These are a key source of investment, and we expect these to increase. As I mentioned earlier, we want the developers to continue to share in more of the returns from the Roblox platform, and we expect to deepen programs to achieve this. Again, we plan to increase the percentage of engagement-based payouts to developers with experiences that generate subscriber player hours, and we will continue to foster these types of programs to incentivize the developer community. We have clearly demonstrated our ability to grow and generate cash over the past few years. In 2020 alone, the business produced $524 million of operating cash flow and $411 million of free cash flow on $1.9 billion in bookings. In the long term, we expect to return to similar cash flow and free cash flow ratios as a percentage of bookings. In the immediate term, however, our primary focus is on growth. This is an incredible opportunity to hire more great engineering and product talent and invest even more in our developer community. We have incredible momentum moving into 2021, and we look forward to keeping in touch with you as we progress towards our goal of building an immersive, engaging human co-experience platform. Thank you for your time, and now I'll hand it back to Dave.
Thank you, Mike. It's a big day for us. It's a big day for the Roblox community. And it's a big day for many of you who are future members of the Roblox community, whether you're investors big or small. Our direct listing is going to build awareness, and it's going to help us bring on more great people to the Roblox community and the Roblox platform. We look forward to our new investors, both big and small, as we go forward in our journey together. Welcome to all of you, and thanks for being here today. Mike Guthrie and I are now ready to take your questions. Thank you.
Welcome to the question and answer portion of our Investor Day. We're excited to get started, but first, some housekeeping items. Anna Yen, our head of investor relations, is here moderating, so please use your chat window to type in your question. We will do our best to get through all of them. And with that, let's get started.
Hey, welcome everyone, and thanks for coming back. We are so excited to be here with our community, our current investors, and all the potential new investors. So welcome to the Q&A portion of our Investor Day. The first question is coming in from Nina at Transcend. Can you talk more about specific investments being made to age up the audience? Thank you, Nina. We shared earlier our vision that we're not just connecting everyone around the world, we're connecting everyone of all ages as well. Really fun fact, our 17 through 24-year-old cohort in the USA is growing very, very rapidly right now. And in addition, prior, a few years ago, we were majority 13 and under. We're approaching 50-50, and we will soon be majority 13 and over people on our platform. There's a bunch of things we're doing to bring more people of all ages, and it's consistent with how the platform has grown, which is organic. Couple things in the work. Our avatar system is expanding from the classic Roblox look and feel to an avatar system that will support every kind of imagination we can think of for our avatars: cartoon characters, anime characters, real life characters. And authentically Roblox, all of these avatars are going to be user generated. We're not going to make them. Our creator community is going to make them. We saw a few snippets of all of the awesome technology coming from our game engine team. We're more and more working towards a photorealistic world for those creators who want it on Roblox. It goes really into cool details: photorealistic lighting, physically based materials, and a whole host of other things that make Roblox experiences look awesome. In addition, when people come to our platform, when they're 17 more and more, or when they're 30, or when they're 6, they will land in experiences that are more aligned with what their age might be. And we have a really cool project happening in the background to add ratings to our experiences. So some experiences will be 13 and up in the future of Roblox, and we think this will help us, once again, welcome all ages. Thank you.
Looks like the next question is from Jonathan at Providence, who asked, please talk about international expansion and how you foresee that affecting monetization for Roblox as a whole. Thanks, Jonathan. It's a good question. Craig Donato in the presentation talked a lot about growing internationally as been one of the primary drivers of the business over the last couple of years. As it relates to monetization, there's usually two factors that really weigh heavily on monetization. One is tenure. The longer users spend on the platform, the more likely they are to convert and become payers. And then over time, generally the more they are likely to spend in a given period. So you can also remember there were those charts that I talked about with payer cohorts over time expanding. And that really just shows what happens over time with tenure. The second thing, and it gets to your question on international, is monetization per user tends to track GDP per capita incredibly consistently. It's very interesting when you look at our global data. And so over the next few years, there's going to be really significant growth, or we expect really significant growth in Western Europe and East Asia. And those are parts of the world where GDP per capita is actually quite high. And I think we're going to see a mix shift towards more of our users, more of our engagement, and more of our monetization comes from those parts of the world. So that's a general overview of what I think is going to happen with monetization. So thanks, Jonathan.
Hey, thanks, Mike. Next question's from Brian at Deccan Investors. Question is, how does Roblox comply with App Store rules? Hey, thanks, Brian. We are partners with Microsoft on the Xbox, with Google on Android, and with Apple on iOS. And they're all long-term partners, and we release on all of these platforms as rapidly as we can, typically once a week. Through that partnership, every one of the releases we make is reviewed by our partners. In addition, we have great business relationships with these partners, and all of these partners have featured Roblox, featured some of the amazing stuff we've done on the platform. For example, the Lil Nas X concert. gathered a lot of featuring from these partners. So it's a weekly process of App Store review by these partners that we've been working with for a long time.
The next question is from Mario Liu at Barclays. How large is the opportunity in China, and how long will it take for creators and developers to get ramped up and generating revenue? Well, Mario, the three largest markets for gaming, even though we're not really a gaming company, but the three largest markets for gaming are the United States, China, and Japan. So I think it's probably intuitive that the opportunity in China is very large. In terms of time to ramp, it's a good question. Creators in China are already starting to develop for the global platform, and we've seen amazing content coming out of Chinese developers, and there have been several experiences that have crested, the top 200, top 100 on the platform, which is really exciting to see. In terms of generating revenue, we'll talk more about this when we get into guidance next week. And right now, we have pretty low expectations on revenue over the next few years in terms of the way we model the business, even though we see a pretty significant opportunity.
Hey, thanks, Mike. Next question's from Marcelo Lima at Heller House. Question is, why is Roblox investing in its own infrastructure versus going all in on the public cloud? Thank you, Marcelo. Really nuanced answer here, and we are really good partners with some of the public cloud vendors. For example, right when we launched Roblox, we were one of the first users of S3 for content storage. At the same time, huge kudos to our infrastructure team, Dan, and a lot of the vision there. Several years ago, when we made the decision to start building our own cloud, essentially, we have over 29 POPs, we have tens of thousands of servers around the world, terabits of bandwidth, and this has given us several things. First and foremost, of course, is performance and reliability. More and more, Roblox is connecting people around the world. People in Europe are connecting, playing, socializing with people in North America, for example. So we need worldwide infrastructure. But in addition to the performance and in addition to the reliability, what we sprung upon is an amazing cost benefit. Our cloud is extremely cost efficient, and the benefit of that is we're able to take that money and give it back to our developer community. And when we look long-term to the company, we think more and more about how do we keep our costs low so the majority of the money flowing through the company, more and more, not necessarily the majority, but as much as possible can flow to our developers. Thank you.
So Mike at Franklin asks, how does Roblox improve its 23-month lifetime metric over time? Thanks, Mike. This question is, there's like a lot of questions at Roblox. We invest very, very heavily in creating a great platform. We've talked about Roblox Client, Roblox Studio, and Roblox Cloud. Ultimately, those are the things that enable our creator community to build amazing and engaging content. And over time, as they get better and the content gets better, it's a more engaging experience for the users, and it's an experience where we have more payers, and those payers spend more, a longer lifetime on the platform. So we're really going to continue to do what we've been doing over the last few years, which is invest aggressively in making the platform better and better for the community so that they build better and better content that engages the customer base. And over time, we believe that the user lifetime will, in fact, increase. Thanks.
Hey, Mike, thanks for riffing on that. And I would add, in our vision, as people start potentially using Roblox for learning or working together, more and more we can envision Roblox becoming a utility that will have a lifetime much, much longer than 23 months. Next question's from Nikhil at Landmark Group. Does investing in the Roblox developer community take away the risk of game development costs and the risk of whether a game title released will be successful or not? Well, you hit upon something here, Nikhil, in that all of the content on Roblox is made by millions and millions of absolutely amazing creators. And we believe the creator community on Roblox includes many of the best current and future game developers in the world, whether it's coding, whether it's production, whether it's the vision, or it's whether the art. We really have an amazing community, and more of these teams are getting larger and larger, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 people on the team. We really empathize with this creator community because together they are powering Roblox. Because it's such a broad creator community and because it covers so many genres and so many interesting new areas and different types of gameplay, in a sense, it doesn't take away our risk, but it distributes that risk. We have a wide range of UGC creators that are powering the creation on Roblox. In a sense, they're taking some risk when they make a new creation, but more and more we're seeing amazing successes. And I'm going to follow on with that with a second question from Ram at Octahedron. How do you think about user engagement in 2021 as we return to normalcy? I'll answer a little bit of this, and then I'm going to kick it back to Mike on this one. We realize right now, in the midst of COVID, these are both unfortunate and exceptional times at the same time. We've all had a lot of difficulty, and at the same time, people have been looking for ways to connect when they can't meet at school, when they can't go to a play group. So we've seen Roblox used to help this. At the same time, we're very hopeful COVID ends as quickly as it does, and we get back to normal. So when we built our financial plans, we're actually, you could say, conservative in a way in that we project COVID to come to a conclusion. That said, the core growth that has driven Roblox, the organic growth powered by 2 viral loops, that we believe will continue to occur even once COVID is over. I'll kick it over to Mike if he has any more details on how we forecast COVID ending.
Hey, Ram, nice to hear from you. And I'll just add a little bit to what Dave said. Again, we're going to be giving guidance next week, so we'll talk more about this. But just day-to-day operating the business, the way the team looks at key metrics like engagement is that we tend to look by age demographics around the world. And we have years of history as to how things like signups and retention and conversion and monetization behave. And we normally use those historical curves to help us to forecast. So we use a lot of visualization to look at that data and ultimately to forecast. As Dave suggested, during the COVID period, a lot of those metrics, a lot of our curves have moved, very much out of band. And so we're spending a lot of time trying to understand what happens when we come back to a more normal time. And so know that we look at it in detail. We're not confused by the fact that we are in fact out of band right now on core metrics. And as we think about giving guidance next week, we are definitely bringing back those core curves so that we can be really thoughtful about what the world looks like when we all get back to normal. Thanks.
Hey, thanks, Mike. Question from Carl at Tin Founder. In practice, where are you with automatic curation of toxic language? Carl, I'm glad you brought this up. Behind the scenes, behind all the fun, cool stuff on Roblox, trust and safety is our top priority. And this goes all the way back to when it was Eric and I working together in Menlo Park, where right when we launched Roblox, we built the first system that curated toxic language, and we actually acted as the moderators and we traded places. So fast forward to where we are now, over 2,000 people moderating 24/7, and many, many ways to deal with toxic language. In addition to user reporting, we started with more primitive regex filters, but once again, our trust and safety team has moved into machine learning type filtering as well. And we're constantly measuring the trade-off between the freedomness, ability to say anything on the platform, with our ability to catch all things that are toxic, and we measure that all the time. We're making enormous progress here, and once again, we think this is a core component of our future growth. Thank you.
So Justin asks, what's the long-term target for developer exchange fees, or how should we think about the scale you're talking about? Hey, Justin, again, Tuesday of next week, when we're planning on giving guidance next week, we'll talk a little bit in more detail about how some of these costs scale. It's actually, one way to think about it is the most efficiency that we can eke out of the operations of the business, we'll try to turn as much of that over to the community as we possibly can. And that can be efficiency in a lot of different places. It can be efficiency in payment processing. It can be efficiency in infrastructure. And it can be even efficiency around headcount at the company. Anything that's not in one of those buckets, if you think about general overhead, we are fiercely focused on driving those costs down so that there's more there for the developer community. In addition, over a longer period of time, as some of these growth drivers in the company start to happen, in a sense, we will ultimately hope to have more bookings to share again with the developer community. So it is going to be a little bit of a circular over time, but I'll talk a little bit next week about some target ranges. But again, think of it as any efficiency that we can wring out of our system, the first place we tend to focus it will be the developer community. So I got a second question, sorry. Providence Equity asks, please break down Robux spent on experiences versus marketplace and how that's trending. Okay, yeah, great question. As we said about the two main things, people spending in the avatar and people spending in experience. Historically, it had been running somewhere between 20 to 25% in the catalog or the marketplace. But that number has actually moved up recently. So part of that is because we moved the catalog about 2 years ago from something that we as a company created a lot of the content to the community starting to create the content. And when we did that, there was just an explosion of content and creativity. And so recently, in the last few quarters, we've been more like 70% of Robux in experience and 30% in the avatar marketplace. And again, the avatar marketplace has been growing at a slightly higher rate. And then I've got one more question from Matt at Truist Securities. Can you talk about the contribution of advertising, if any, on the platform and the opportunity there long-term? Given there are no App Store fees associated, we would think ad-supported experiences could be accretive to margins. Matt, thanks. Right now, there's no advertising on the platform to speak of, and it's a very pure experience. We're not going to do some of the traditional ad units. What we're trying to do is deeply immersive, Roblox consistent brand partnerships. So we're really going to be defining, I think, new ways for brands to be on a platform and in front of users. So right now, we certainly, with just the raw user base on the platform and the sheer amount of engagement, we certainly see a big opportunity for brands to be in front of users. But again, we're going to really do that in a Roblox unique way. You're correct. It could be very incremental revenue. So there's no doubt that as part of our booking stream and revenue stream comes from advertising, you could have very high flow through. So it could have a significant impact to the overall margins of the business. But we're really early here. So when we talk about the business, and when next week I'll talk more in guidance, we really are just thinking about users purchasing Robux and spending them in the ways that we've talked about. But thanks, Matt.
Hey, thanks, Mike. Next one's for me from Jonathan Curtis. Can you talk about some of the successes you've had outside of gaming with older audiences with greater ability to monetize concerts, corporate events, shared spaces in the hybrid work world? Thanks. Jonathan, great question. One thing to note, when we do events, we're typically right now leaning more in on new experiences and user engagement, and not as much doing them to monetize more. We believe we've built an amazing system and a virtual economy that has so far scaled linearly, if not better, with our growth. It gives us the ability to focus more on the fun, the engagement. How good are these experiences? Do they bring people together? Do they allow people to connect? I'll riff more on the Lil Nas X concert that we did, that we highlighted a bit in our investor reel. We worked with the artist for several months to put together a vision for a concert that could never have been done in real life. Everything from the lighting to the staging to the costumes Lil Nas wore to the size to the audio. And when we did this, we discovered when we came to the concert, it was unlike anything we'd ever felt before. It was one of those aha moments I had inside Roblox, and I've had many along the way where, whoa, this is big, this is amazing. It's really early in the future of the metaverse right now. We've been around for 10 or 12 years. It's still really, really early. There will be a time when metaverse experiences and concerts have 50,000 people together in the same place rather than the hundreds that we do today. So it's really early. The experience, even in this early phase, is very immersive. It feels different than watching video. It feels different than listening. When I can be with my friends and we can walk around and dance if we want and buy stuff in the merch store. So I think there's a really bright future for this. Thank you. Next question's from Ken at Ad Age. Talks about platform extensions. How do you decide where to invest in platform extensions? What mechanisms are in place to test and learn on platform extensions? Well, Ken, this is a really key question and idea. It really goes all the way to the founding of Roblox, when there were two of us, where what we could invest in was about 100 times bigger than what we could work on. And even today, with approaching 1,000 people in the company, we have to be very, very thoughtful and judicious on where we apply force, how we take the next steps as we build this company. Inside the company, we have something called the Roblox OS. It's the system that we've built to run the company. And one part of that is the way we think about not just our vision, which is bring the whole world together, not just our mission, which is 1 billion people a month, but the key things we do for the year that we call arcs or themes. And we take these key arcs and we use them to then line up all of the teams within Roblox. Not surprisingly, inside of the company, the primary arc is safety and civility. It's our vision of really the foundation of how Roblox works. And then we layer arcs on top of that around efficiency of our developer community or bringing people's identity to life. So there's really a product roadmap challenge. When we think about the next level up, we might call them verticals, we might call them platform extensions, we might call them ecosystems. This is a whole new dimension on Roblox, because historically Roblox has been around play, but more and more in the future it will be around learning, about connecting people who can't maybe go to the school they want to, who work or live remotely. And as we mentioned, it will be ultimately around working as well, as we've prototyped so far in our Roblox company meetings. It's still early in these verticals. We are laying a lot of the tech in the play vertical that we believe will ultimately augment them. Things like spatial audio so people can talk in Roblox, albeit in a safe and civil and moderated manner, as well as avatar animation as a few of these hints. So more to come on these verticals, but more and more we're starting to think about that expansion. Thank you.
And Ken, just to add to what Dave said, nice to hear from you. One of the things that we do, you ask about mechanisms to test and learn, is you go in knowing what you want to measure and what we're trying to get out of situations like that. So with Little Nas X concert, we started off with not just an economic model, but also a model of infrastructure. How many concurrent users could we support? How much of the technology is really being vetted when we do something like this? And then how many of the users who showed up were new? And then how many actually purchased? And how have those users retained over time? So we're trying to learn as much as we can when we do things like this, really 360 degrees across the company, whether it's on the product teams, on the engineering teams, and on the finance teams. Fortunately, I think we're quite good at measuring and asking good questions and tracking. And so that's been really important as well, as we, because we do have limited resources and we want to do things that are actually great for the developers and great for the user community. So we'll continue to measure intensely as we try these things to see what really is working and not working.
Thanks, Mike. Next question is from Kunal at Atlantic Equities. China is a significant opportunity. How do you view the competitive environment in that market? Are there similar platforms already at scale in the country? I'll start by saying we believe Roblox is really unique in the way we bring together user-generated content, a developer community, amazing tech, cloud studio, our infra. So we do believe Roblox has an enormous number of unique aspects. At the same time, China is incredibly competitive. And when we look towards China, we view it as an opportunity to learn in that there's a lot of interesting usage patterns that happen in China around mobile gaming. Some things happen there first, and we believe there's a lot to learn there. The opportunity in general for us has a really unique aspect, and that is there's amazing creation talent in China that Roblox of the world, and we've already seen some developers in China break into the top 250 in the worldwide popularity on Roblox. So there's a market for that talent. In the opposite direction, many of the experiences on Roblox today are very suitable for China, and there's an exciting opportunity to bring that in the opposite direction. In a sense, this is a bilateral network effect that we would like to gently use to help us succeed in China.
And Kunal, we have a lot of great, oh, sorry, go ahead. We have a lot of great assets.
Go for it, Mike, before I finish.
Yeah, we have a lot of great assets over there. One of which, and Dave's probably getting ready to say this, is who we've partnered with. Having Tencent as a partner in China is a real advantage for us.
Yeah, shout out to that. And thank you, Tencent, by the way, they are a great partner. Anthony at NOPA Partners, in terms of developer studio on the platform, do you know how many are developing solely on Roblox as opposed to splitting times with other platforms? I don't know exactly, so I'm not going to quote a number, but over the last 5 to 10 years, starting with our very first Roblox rally, we've gotten to know this amazing community. And in a sense, we've seen this community grow and expand from individuals playing around with Roblox to hobbyists who happen to have an interesting experience. As we layered in the Roblox economy, we saw people starting to fund their college education. And now more and more, we're seeing larger and larger teams come from within, as well as from the outside world. Prior developers on other platforms are taking a look at Roblox and in some cases getting VC funding. In general, Roblox developers, the vast majority are 100% on the Roblox platform. Cool, next question. Michael Proctor at Wedbush. Can you please tell us the level of sensitivity you have with developers? Should Unity or Unreal decide to flatter you and emulate your lead with UGC and developer incentives to create games within the Roblox metaverse? Can those competitors attract your developers to bring the same games to their platforms? So we take nothing for granted with our developer community. They're amazing partners, and every day we have to offer them not just amazing tools and not just an amazing reach, but also an amazing economic opportunity so that as they get larger, someday their studio can have 100 people, and we can imagine developers making $100 million a year and more. So all I can say to this is we believe Roblox is a very unique ecosystem in more ways than just our UG developer community when it comes to both the technology we use, the way we've built our infrastructure, the way we've architected the platform, and at the same time, we do not ever take our developers for granted.
Dave, why don't I start on the next one and then have you jump in as well. Brandon Ross from Lightshed asks, seems like a massive opportunity for brands to engage with a hard to reach consumer in a very engaging way. We would agree with you, Brandon. How are you working to bring brands onto the platform? Is this a discrete revenue opportunity for Roblox? Do you need to build out agencies or just educate brands who have been some of the most successful so far? All right, Brandon, we got a lot in there. We would agree with you. It is a massive opportunity for brands to engage. On the other hand, it's also, it has to be in the right way. We have, we think, a great user experience that we're not going to compromise. the way we work to bring brands onto the platform is through Craig and his team. They are out talking to brands that we think would be interested and work well on the Roblox platform. Some of those brands also reach out to us as well. Craig talked about some of them. We're still in the early stages. When you ask whether it's a discrete revenue opportunity, yes, it certainly can be. I think a discrete economic activity or opportunity, not just for us, but also for the developers on our platform. I think that's how we see brands. And we're certainly in the process of educating brands to what this medium could be. And because you point out early on, it's a tough to reach audience, and they spend a fair amount of time on our platform. So that's interesting for advertisers. That combination of a demographic, of scale, and of engagement is obviously going to be interesting. Who have been some of the most successful so far? I think Craig touched on a few of those in his presentation, but we've seen a lot of movie studios with entertainment content, the NFL, Nike, some brands like that. And so anyway, I think incredibly exciting opportunity. I'll let Dave jump in with any comments that he has.
I think that's right, Mike. And I would just add one amazing aspect about Roblox and the metaverse is brands can connect with their people really without getting in the way. An example would be our players can wear Nike shoes, for example, and rather than watching something or seeing a billboard, a user can experience that brand. And more in the future of the metaverse, just as in the real world, we might see billboards along the highway or brands in our world. We actually believe there's a native immersive future for this type of advertising that is gentle and doesn't get in the way of the user experience. Next one, hey, Emily from T-Row. What has been the response to the engagement-based payout in terms of influencing the types of things developers are building? Generally, how are you encouraging developers to think more expansively on what types of experiences to build? Great question. Historically, Roblox has gone through 3 evolutions. The first evolution was everyone's building for fun, for free, not making any money. It's just so fun and amazing. And we grew to a really large size on that. The next phase was when we brought in our virtual economy and Robux. Developers started being able to make experiences where they could creatively balance engagement with monetization. They could sell a motor scooter for those that wanted it, or in Bird Simulator, if you spent a few Robux, you could become an eagle more quickly. That's the core of where we're at now. But a year ago, we looked at really what we're trying to do, which is bring new and creative developers up from all around the world, even when they're just starting out. And we came up with the idea of engagement-based payouts. Part of the rationale was when we analyzed our developers from number 1,000 to number 10,000, we could see that they were spending most of their time coming up with new ideas. They put all of their effort into the engagement and the fun, and they weren't focusing on how to monetize. And then as their experiences started to gain traction, we started to see more and more monetization as the team got bigger and they had more time to focus on monetization. So at the same time, out of respect for our developers, those developers are really powering how fun and interesting Roblox is. A lot of people like to go find the long tail and find up and coming experiences. And more our discovery systems are automatically surfacing some of these brilliant experiences that sometimes have new types of gameplay. So we came up with the idea of engagement-based payouts, and that is we're going to pay, and we do pay developers essentially roughly proportionally to the time spent in their experiences. What does this mean? It means that developer number 1,000, who before was working by themselves, not necessarily making any money on Roblox, all of a sudden started to see checks from Roblox showing up, because down at developer number 1,000, and Mike might know the number, but we've gone from making tens of hundreds of thousands to, I think we're getting to the point where developer number 1,000 can make a living on the platform. So the vision of engagement-based payouts is really to build that long tail, to supercharge the creativity of a lot of the up and coming developers. And Mike, I'll kick it over to you if there are any numbers around this.
No, Emily, thanks for the question. We right at my fingertips, I don't have the the answer to what's happened with number 1,000, but we really have seen a substantial number of developers where the engagement-based payouts are virtually all of the payouts that they're receiving. And we think that's fantastic because it just starts to create this incentive to do more, as Dave was talking about. And it's great to be able to support more on the platform because ultimately more content, better for the users. So we're really excited about increasing engagement-based payouts in the future. We think it's a really fantastic way to incentivize the developer community. And it's part and parcel of that comment earlier, the question of what's the percentage of going to the developers. We can't give you the exact number, but we know that EBP is going to be, as we talk about engagement-based payout, it is going to be a bigger part of it. Okay, we have a question from Rob Newell. Rob, I'm so glad Rob asked this. Is closing the gap between revenue and bookings a priority? How can Roblox excite players to spend Robux more quickly? Rob, thank you. All right, I'm gonna go to these in pieces. Closing the gap, let's talk about why there's a gap first of all between bookings and revenue, and then we'll talk about the second piece. When a user comes into Roblox and decides to purchase Robux, that they buy them, we take in cash, and we call that bookings. The reason we don't recognize that as revenue right away is because we have what's known in accounting parlance as a performance obligation. So it's ultimately, we have to keep our platform alive and open so that payers can then use the currency to get the benefit that they want when they went and bought the currency in the first place. Then the question is, how do you recognize that revenue over time? We have something called ASC 606, which you saw me talk about in the video. The way we recognize revenue is that we look to the goods that users are purchasing. If they're purchasing something called a durable good, everything in the catalog, as an example, is a durable good. Once you buy it, it's yours to keep. Or if they buy a consumable item, something that gets consumed literally right away, then we recognize that revenue at the time that it's purchased. When we look at the durable items, we recognize that over the life of a user. So that's why there's a delay as we recognize. So right now, the life of a payer rather is just short of 2 years. So when they purchase something and they buy a durable good, we're recognizing that revenue over the 23 months. It actually gets to your second question, how can Roblox excite players to spend Robux more quickly? They actually already do, Rob. The vast majority of Robux are spent within about 72 hours, 96 hours. The currency is actually spent very quickly. That's why we take in the cash and we have such high cash flow in the business. But we recognize that revenue over the life of the payer if it's a durable good. If it's a consumable good, we recognize it faster. So it's not a reflection of slow spending on the part of users at all. It's really just because that's the way we have to do the revenue recognition because of 606. So it's a great question and one that we can talk a little bit more about. Our revenue accounting is definitely something you have to spend some time with, and we'll talk more about it as we give guidance, and certainly as we're a public company, and we'll always try to bridge you between GAAP revenue and then the amount of bookings, because that's happening, that's economic activity right then at that moment. So we want to make sure that you understand that. So Rob, thank you for bringing that up.
And a fun comment just from a Roblox systems point of view, in a sense, it's the Roblox developers, the quality of their creations, the quality of the items they make for our avatar that influences the rate of consumer spending. So we're really a platform indirect provider of that, and the better we make the platform, the more the developers can contribute to that ecosystem. The next question is from David Gibson. Is Roblox looking to expand the number of console platforms that can be played on, like Nintendo Switch? Thanks. So thinking back on this one, there was a time, a long time ago, when HTML 2D content was primarily viewed on large screens and on monitors and laptops, aka a website. But on phones, there's a different formats. People were trying to figure out the mobile web, and that content was really not consumed there. And finally, the iPhone came along, and for the first time with Pinch and Zoom, that same 2D HTML digital stuff could be consumed anywhere. We have a similar vision on the metaverse, in that the metaverse is immersive 3D, multiplayer, physically simulated, social stuff in the cloud. And our vision is that any device can consume it, and every device hopefully works as best as it can. So on a phone, it's pinch and zoom. On a console, it's a pad, and on a VR headset, you can look around. What that really means is ultimately we're optimistic that common metaverse content can be consumed across all platforms. And to zero back into the question, absolutely, we're looking at all platforms, no announced dates. The reason, if anything, we feel it's going, we're not there already, is we have such a focus on the phone. And the phone is such a difficult use case. It's the smallest device. It's really the hardest to make immersive. And so we are optimistic, though, in the future we'll be looking at other platforms. The next question is from Brandon Taylor at Wells Fargo. If you and management could snap your finger and magically wake up tomorrow with a major strategic initiative investment and have it be complete, which would it be and why? Great question. We're running several strategic investments right now simultaneously. The first is connecting everyone around the world. This has become more and more a matter of execution. We can see in Germany, France, Brazil, South Korea, Taiwan, Russia, the same growth we've seen in the United States. And we're optimistic in China as well that this core benefit of our platform will work around the world. So that was one 3 or 4 years ago. We might have said snap our fingers to make sure that's right. We're pretty solid on that one. The next one is connecting all ages through play. This one we're in the middle of, and as I shared earlier, there's a lot of functionality in our pipeline that we believe accelerates this, that organically allows our creators to make experiences, that allows people of all ages to enjoy playing and socializing on Roblox. This one we're in the middle of, and we have really good early signal here. And then the future visionary one, where we talk about learning and working and consuming entertainment, we're on the early edge of that. So if I had to snap my fingers right now and wake up in 3 or 4 years, imagining the use case of, for those people who cannot attend maybe the school they want, who live in a part of the world where they cannot get to the right school, and having them be able to possibly through immersive 3D experience participate in the school, that'd be an amazing thing. And I think that would, in a sense, manifest part of our vision. Great question. Next
Dave,
question.
if I could just add, I could just add one to the last. Sorry. I think another major initiative for us would be if we look at our arcs, and maybe the number one arc for this year being trust and civility. I think if we could snap our fingers and tomorrow all of the work that we're doing was just perfect, where filtering was perfect, moderation was perfect. We were just so exceptionally awesome at that. Not that we're not working towards that, of course we are, but that it's such that the platform, and this may be a state that we will always aspire to, is sort of perfectly civil and awesome. I think that would be the other one that it would accelerate the business on so many levels.
Awesome. And riffing on that, a question from Eric Sheridan, somewhat along this mixing, can you discuss what initiatives in place to expand the user base into older age cohorts? And does that open up in terms of commerce opportunities long term? And then how does aging up the player base create challenges around platform safety? I'll riff back to what Mike just said, in that safety and civility is the primary focus and the number one arc in the company. So any initiative we talk about, whether it's learning or working or consuming entertainment, is built on that foundation, and that foundation of building the world's safest and most civil society. We're optimistic that the better we improve these systems, the more and more we cannot just prevent bad things on platform, but improve the civility of the players on our platform. And we're really excited about this. How does aging up the player base create challenges around platform safety? All kinds of challenges. We, as people get older and as we start to think about things like voice, we'll be bringing to market unique Roblox authentic ways of doing these types of things that are consistent with the safety and civility of our community. So it actually makes it a lot more work for us, but we're optimistic about our ability to achieve that. The next one's from Alec Brown at Franklin. How should we think about the dynamics around IP ownership between Roblox and its developers on UGC? Our developers own their IP. It's that simple. And we're optimistic long-term that Roblox can be a factory for IP, a place where developers create interesting IP, whether it's stories or avatars or characters, and it goes off platform. Our toy effort is really an effort to show that the IP on Roblox is those creators, and all of the Roblox toys are the manifestation of our developers' creativity and those developer experiences. We think long-term that if there's a Roblox movie, we like the idea of it not being a Roblox movie, but one of our top creator movies, and using the IP from their experience so that we can support them as a platform, but the creative genius of our IP creators can really be front and center.
And then, Dave, I'll move to the next question we have, I guess, from several attendees. What is the vision for Roblox Premium? Do premium subscribers also pay on top of their subscription? And how important do you think it is as an engagement driver over the next 3 to 5 years? So thank you, great question. I know Dave has strong opinions on this, so I'm gonna start and then I'll turn it over to him. The vision for Roblox Premium is that premium membership increases in value over a long period of time. That's one of the simplest ways to think about it. There are lots of premium subscription services that we all know that generate more value over time for subscribers. So we do see premium morphing and growing over time to provide more value for the subscribers. I will say, however, we've got a great mix between subscribers and what we call a la carte purchasers. And the a la carte purchasers in overall are larger as a percentage of the total user base, and that's great. So one of the things we want to do is make sure that users who want to become payers have access to currency however they want to purchase it. Some want to purchase it as subscribers and some want to buy it a la carte. The second question here is, do premium subscribers also pay on top of their subscription? And they do. What we see is many of the subscribers every month also buy Robux on an a la carte basis. So they're a little bit of hybrid. And remember, subscription is new to Roblox. So users are still getting used to whether they're just subscribers, just a la carte, or if they actually like to do both. And so this is going to change and evolve over time. Do we think it's an engagement driver? Yeah, we do. Absolutely. Subscribers, I think in all types of businesses have typically are more engaged. They tend to retain better. One of the things that we see when we model it out is that there's a higher repurchase rate. So when you think about what we call conversion, which is how many of your users are actually purchasing within a given month, there's no doubt subscription improves that number. It increases the repurchase rates. It increases the number of payers that we have on the platform. So it's really early. It's incredibly exciting, and we really benefit from both. But from a product perspective, Dave's got a lot of opinions on subscriptions. So let me turn it over to him.
Yeah. So I'll riff in on the engagement driver. What's really exciting is when we typically lead with vision and function and features at Roblox, we lead with a vision, and a lot of times we get a great byproduct to that. I'll share a couple of the visions behind Premium. First off, there are some types of content we believe in the future, based on the developer, based on how they want to create, that may someday not have any Robux in the experience. And there are some developers who might want to make that someday. we believe premium is an awesome way to think about funding those types of and supporting those types of experiences. So one of the long-term visions for premium is it opens up the mix between monetization and creation for our developers. Another thing a lot of our developers are asking for, and this is a meta platform concept, is they would like to have subscriptions within their own experience. They would have to like to have a monthly pass or something like this. And we have some product visions around connecting that with premium to make that possible. So the nice byproduct of this, but typically we lead with engagement and quality of experience. The nice byproduct, as Mike mentioned, is it is an engagement driver as well. And I'll kick over the Mac. I'll let Mike, I'll let you handle the e-commerce one, and then I'll talk about the Embellis one.
Sure. The question from Nick at Carmanac is, could you please unpack the potential e-commerce opportunity? Would also love to hear about the rationale of the Embellis acquisition. So Dave's going to talk about Embellis. The e-commerce opportunity, Nick, obviously it could be very large because we have a big audience. They're quite engaged in our platform, and if brands present themselves and their products in interesting and engaging and authentic ways on our platform, ultimately that could lead to a lot of e-commerce. We don't, other than what we've done in concerts where we had merchandise purchases, we really haven't had a lot of e-commerce on the platform so far. So it is one of those future growth drivers. We certainly see the size and scale of the opportunity. And as long as it's a great experience for the developers and for the users, that's something that we're going to pursue. Very difficult to give you a dollar amount on that today. So we'll just, that's one of those things we'll just keep talking about as we build the business and build the platform over time.
Thanks, Mike. And then riffing on Embellis. Embellis is a company we acquired a few months ago with an amazing team and an amazing vision. The vision of Embellis was to rethink the way we assess and think about ways of going beyond the SAT and beyond the ACT to assess for problem solving and creativity and different ways of doing things. This dovetailed really well with our vision around the Roblox operating system, and that we're going to be bringing on more and more people to work within Roblox. We want to bring on people from all different places, from our developer community, from a wide range of backgrounds, not necessarily just from the top 20 universities. And so we needed a way that is fair and unbiased to more and more assess these people as they come on board. So Embellis is an awesome partnership, an amazing team, and really part of our vision of building this Roblox operating system. And a really neat byproduct of it is Embellis uses immersive experiences to assess people, culturally neutral simulations where you do something. And I've just seen recently that some of their experiences recreated in Roblox. They're absolutely amazing. So it's really authentic to our vision of we're going to build a Roblox operating system to then build Roblox, to then have developers build games. With that, our moderator is telling me we have time for one more question today, and it's from Eric Sheridan at UBS. It's for both of us. What are 2 to 3 things the board and management team view as mission critical in order to successfully execute against in the coming years to realize the platform potential? I'm sure Mike and I both have views on this. I'm going to let Mike take a swig, and then I'll take a shot at it.
Okay. I'd say the number one critical factor in my mind is the ability to attract, recruit, and retain amazing engineering and product talent. The ambitions of the business will not be satisfied by the roughly 800 engineers that we have in the business today. We're incredibly excited that we've crested 1,000 employees, and 80% of those are engineering and product folks, and they're amazing. And we just need many, many more of them. So that to me is mission critical. And as in my 3 years as the CFO, as we've recruited and grown the team, the return on that investment has been, far in excess of the cost, which is, how we look at those items. The second one, and they're basically side by side, is growing and creating great incentives and great products for the creator community. As we have invested in the platform in the time that I've been at the company, and it has enabled this incredible creator and developer community to build better and better content. They built better businesses. The experiences have been better for the users, and that viral loop has been really incredible. So those two things are really in the top of my list, and I'm sure Dave agrees with those and has others as well to talk about.
Thank you, Mike. We agree pretty much unanimously. First and foremost, it's the people, the ability to bring amazing people to power what we're creating in Roblox, and then those people power our creation of the platform, of which safety and civility is our primary arc. My vision would be ultimately we will get to the point where Roblox is viewed as an optimistic factor in the world, whereas people use our platform, civility is increasing, people around the world are connecting, people are learning more about different ways of thinking and different cultures. So it all starts with the people and then rests on that foundation of civility. Awesome.
All right, well, it looks like that's the end of the questions. We really want to just thank everybody for joining us today. We've enjoyed the ability to talk to you and talk about the business, give you a real end-to-end view of Roblox. Have a great Friday, a great weekend, and we look forward to more conversations as this process continues. Take care.